Hey, we're running it back. That newer video that I did on school lockdown horror stories, that was an old one. I scheduled it like 6 million years ago. Back when the dinosaurs were still alive. Story locked out. Okay.
Immediately go to the nearest room and lock and barricade the door. Stay low and stay quiet.
Story 1. Anonymous.
I went to a somewhat typical high school. Not in a traditional American suburb, but a more rural set high school. Some kids go to schools with graduating classes of like 500 to hell, even 1,000 kids.
Bro, how do you have 1,000 kids in one school? I mean, my one... Wait, hold on. My old one had like 200. Yeah, no, 200 minimum. I think 300 maybe. That's 300's pushing it. Well, at least, well, there's no stealing lunch money because we don't have a cafeteria, but like, there's like, I think usually if you're not one of those guys that just annoy people, I'm a person that has the ability to annoy someone like the Hulk, apparently. I can annoy someone pretty fucking easily. I just say, I remember I just go up to this one guy, Tristan or whatever, and I just say, "Oh, Chrissy boy," and then he just fucking hated me for like a year straight. Loser. Hey, loser.
Quiet kids in our grade, like every school has. But there was one kid in my grade who literally never spoke at all. I'm gonna just name him Luke for this story. He wasn't even
Okay, guys, let's bet that he's gonna be the guy to like make the school go into lockdown. That's all I'm saying. $20. Who's betting? Who else is betting?
And back when this happened,
What is an
the
electric?
computer rooms in our high
Apple
school were still
Maps,
rocking
what's the
those
fuck?
big bulky box computers. I remember the layout of this classroom.
Bro.
There was the aisle in the middle.
Dude, I remember computers just like these. Because when I was like 7, they had these massive computers. It was like computers, like, they'd have the box for the computer, like the main thing, just on like a deck or something, like on the floor, so you just turn it on with your toe or something like that. I don't even know what. Yeah, it's fine. But like Windows 7 type computers, they were old as hell, bro. They ran fine, but like, it was just bulky as shit, dude.
Separating 2 columns of tables, and the 2 columns had 4 rows each. Each row had 4 seats, and each student had their own computer. This class wasn't full, so there were probably like 26 filled seats out of 32.
That's pretty
Luke
good.
always sat in the second row in the furthest seat to the left with no one next to him, as everyone else sat with
Okay, you know when it's an old school when they have this old-ass box TV.
row from the seniors right to the back of Luke's head. I remember he
Paper
turned
plane.
around and had this very telling look. The seniors continued to make fun, one of them saying, "Wasn't me," and blaming one of the other seniors.
You guys ever do that in like class? You just punch someone in the back of the head and they just say, "Wasn't me."
Eventually, one day I saw Luke sitting on a curb not far from the high school after school ended one day. I passed by him as I was walking to my car.
he's just like, "Hey buddy, do you want to see what I have?" He just shows his bag and there's an M9, the disassembled AK-47 in there, bro.
Anyway, he said they're not the only ones that he's sick of. He implied that he deals with people picking on him in multiple classes, which honestly made me feel pretty
Is
terrible
this guy just the school punching bag?
for him. In those 10 minutes, I felt like I learned a lot about Luke and got to know him as a person just a bit.
Bro, this
He
guy's
seemed like a
literally the
decent
school
kid.
punching bag.
As I dropped him off, I made a comment to him about how close we lived, and then we said goodbye. Every day in class after that, we'd say hey to each other, but admittedly, I unfortunately never got involved whenever he got picked on. Well, one day, Luke didn't show up to class. Computer class was 4th period.
Oh
It wasn't
no.
until 7th period English that an announcement came over the loudspeaker saying, "Lockdown, this is not a drill."
Knew it.
I remember
Knew
everyone
it.
looking around nervously.
Oh,
I
hell
remember
no.
our
Bro, I
teacher
actually have
looking the most
goosebumps. What the
nervous.
hell?
She ran to turn off the lights and told everyone to hurry
let me
to one
check.
corner of the room. Seeing how nervous our teacher was,
Nah, I don't
only
have
made all the
goosebumps.
students even more
It's
nervous.
just cold.
We sat with the lights off
I
for
just
a
got the
long
shivers.
time. It had to be 20 to 30 minutes until there was another message on the loudspeaker. It was the principal, explaining that there was someone in a mask carrying a black duffel bag trying to get into the school. Our school had really good security, and when someone spotted that person approaching the school with what could only be assumed to be guns or any kind of weapons in that duffel bag, the doors were all locked. The school day was cut short
Damn.
after that once a few police cars were on the scene. I remember it being a Friday, so I took a few of my friends home to my house so we could hang out. I'd be lying if I said I remember the small details thereafter.
Yo, imagine Luke just figures out where this guy lives. He just shows up. Wait, but they're friends, so...
that day. But I think it was that same night that I woke up in the middle of the night
Oh,
to
fuck
late
no.
tapping at my window. And I could see someone on the other side of the
Oh,
desk.
nah! Oh, nah! Bitch, I'm getting my gun, bro. I'm literally gonna grab my nightstand and throw it out the window, bro. Oh, hell no. I don't even have a nightstand, bro. What am I talking about, bro? The closest thing I have to a nightstand is, like, a shelf.
I started freaking out, and before running to get my dad, I took a closer look and then said, "Who is it?" I heard Luke's voice as he said his name. I
What
felt
the
like my
fuck?
heart dropped a second time. I went over to the window and lifted it just a crack. I said, "What are you doing? How did you find me?" And he said through the window, "I tried to do something bad." And it instantly clicked. I mean it. It instantly clicked in my head.
No.
And it was him. Before he could even tell me, I said, "Is it you who caused the lockdown?" And he said yes. I was scared
What?
to ask
Bro,
him.
what would you even do in this situation? Dude, I'd be shitting myself. Literally, bro. Well, not literally. Did I turn my light off? I have my lamp on right now.
He was planning on doing. Instead, I asked him how he found me. He admitted to remembering the deli that I said I lived by, and he eventually found my car after biking around the area. That explanation didn't make it any less disturbing. Luke asked
Bro,
me
this
if he could
guy's a
come in
threat.
and talk about what he planned on doing, and I said no, I cannot let him in, nor can I hear what he planned on doing. I actually recommended he go to the school and confess to whatever he was going to do, and when he refused to walk away from my window, I said "Dad" really loudly, which worked in scaring him off. I went to my parents' room and woke them up to tell them. My mom was the one who insisted on calling the police. She was distraught. When a police officer eventually came, I
Bro, I'm moving countries after that shit, bro.
had known that he had just come to my window, admitting to potentially almost doing something horrible at the school. Obviously, the police were already aware of the lockdown, so I believe police were sent to his house that night, but after speaking with Luke's parents, they realized Luke wasn't there. I believe it was the next day that Luke was either found or he just returned home and police were still waiting there, and he confessed to what he told me. As far as our graduating class knew, Luke was charged with something like making a terroristic threat. I know he did time, and I know he's been out a long time. To be honest, I don't really know if he's still around. Part of me always wanted to feel bad for
Oh.
Luke, witnessing how loneliness and
Dude,
getting
I'm actually like checking up my shoulders. I'm gonna close my curtains real quick. My window locked? Yeah, okay, it is. Bro, why am I actually scared of this shit, man? I'm closing my curtains the whole way, bro. I am not dealing with this.
He followed me and came to me simply because I showed him an act of kindness. Something I unfortunately believe nobody...
Okay, news tip for American students. Never become friends with the quiet kid.
Hey, loser. Hey, loser. Give me your lunch money, dork.
Even if he didn't admit to intending on carrying out the implied threat, I can't fully believe he simply came to the school with a gun just to scare people. I think he for a split second had a horrible plan and got cold feet and regretted it. I just hope Luke eventually got the help he needed.
Nah, that guy's mental, bro. Kenny Abbott. Oh, come on! Skip. Okay, we're good.
This happened in
Oh, what the
2016, back when I was in 5th grade.
Dude.
If you remember
Dude.
that year, you probably...
Dude. I remember those clown things, bro. Killer clowns. Oh, brother. Dude, that was the scariest shit ever, bro. It was just like killer clowns, like, attacking people or something like that. Oh my god. Dude, I actually had a fucking mini heart attack seeing that clown for a second, bro. Maybe because they're killer clowns, but like, I was just like, nah, I'm not scared of that. But I did kind of, like, maybe it's just from the last story, I'm a bit scared from that.
Probably remember all the killer clown sightings that were happening around the country.
Oh yeah.
At the time, it was all over the news and social media. Most adults thought it was just some dumb trend or prank, but for young kids, it was actually pretty scary. It was a normal day at
I
school.
remember when I was in the Beavers. There's an old video on my channel. I think it's like my first one. The one when there's like the sledding down the hill. I was there. I was doing that. But like later in that day, me and my friend, we were like hiking through the woods or something, looking for something. I forgot what it was. It was a while ago. But we were like hiking through the woods, and then we saw like this abandoned cabin. And then my friend was just like, yo, Pennywise lives there. And I was like, who the fuck is Pennywise? Because I never saw the movie It. But then I was just like, he explained it to me, and I was like, oh, hell no.
It really was a clown outside.
Okay, that is
Just
fucking
a few feet
creepy.
away from the window, facing our classroom directly.
Okay, I see why people were actually scared of clowns back then. I'm probably gonna have nightmares, bro. I'm probably gonna have
He
nightmares
was wearing
tonight,
a
bro.
baggy, dirty red and yellow
Dude,
clown
that actually
suit
looks
and had white
horrifying.
face paint with black around the eyes. He was smiling and staring in at us with this big fake grin. After a few seconds, he started waving slowly. Some
I'm
of the
throwing my chair at the fucking clown, bro.
kids thought it was funny and laughed. Others were clearly freaked out. Our teacher, Mrs. Riker, walked over to the window, looked at the guy for a second, and then said through the glass, loud and annoyed, "Excuse me, classes are in session. You need to get out of here." The clown didn't react at all. He just kept standing there, smiling and waving. Mrs. Riker told us all to sit back down and said she was calling the front office. She picked up the corded classroom phone and then walked into the hallway with it and spoke quietly. The phones in the
Bro, this is giving me PTSD from when I was like 2. I remember I was scared for some reason. I was like very sick when I was like 2 years old. And I was just laying in my cot, just like not able to sleep. And my parents, for some stupid reason, they gave me like this red nightlight. And they said to me, just look at the nightlight, you'll be okay. And then they just closed my door. And then I'm just like laying there in my bed with this scary ass like red nightlight. Just like, well, hold on. Let me try and measure the area. Hold on. Yeah, okay, no wait. My cot was like way down low, so this nightlight was probably like over here. You guys can't really see me, but like, yeah. I'm pretty sure. Wait, no, my brother wasn't born then yet. Okay, no. When I was 2, he was probably like. Yeah, no, he wasn't born yet. No, okay. Yeah, but like I remember, like being scared shitless from that red nightlight, and then, ever since then, I was like scared of like red neon lights. I was scared of until I was like 5, and I was like, why am I so scared of this?
hung up. She walked over to the window and shut all the blinds after she saw that the man in the clown costume was still there, doing the same creepy waving
jeez.
motion, smiling, and general clownish mannerisms. Not even
The
2
blinds
minutes
scared
later,
me for a
the
sec.
principal's voice came over the loudspeaker. "Staff, please get your classrooms into lockdown formation." There was a sense of urgency in the voice that, looking back, was
I'm throwing like 50 desks against the door, bro. Fuck that shit. I'm throwing 50 desks against the door and then jumping out the window and leaving.
30 minutes. Nobody knew what was happening.
That's like a whole class
Eventually,
period.
the principal came back on the loudspeaker and said the lockdown was over and that the situation had been handled. Apparently, school security had confirmed that the clown was gone. They didn't tell us anything else.
Bro, America's
Classes
got
went on
school
like normal for
security.
the rest of the day. It felt weird. Everyone was talking about it during dismissal, but the teachers didn't say much.
Oh, that would be so... Nah. The clown's just in the tree line, just waving at you. Okay, I'm gonna have nightmares tonight, bro. I can't do
He
this.
lived and ran past us, looking panicked. One of them said, "There's someone in the woods." We stopped
I predicted it. I predicted it. Bro, I predicted it. Oh, man.
and turned around. Behind the school, there's a small patch of trees. It's not deep woods or anything, just enough to separate the school from the street behind it. And standing just barely out of view, near the edge of the woods, was the clown again.
I
Same
hate
dirty
that
outfit,
laugh.
Same painted face. He was half hidden by the trees, but he was clearly waving, and he wasn't just waving at random. He was doing it slowly, directly at the girls who had just passed us, like he was trying to call them over. Chris and I didn't say anything. We just ran. I don't know what happened after that, but I told my
Bro,
parents,
2017 was a different time.
but they never found anyone. To this day, nobody knows who that guy was. And I don't know if he was just trying to scare some kids or if he were planning something worse. But what freaks me out the most is that he came back after the lockdown and he waited, hidden in the trees, watching kids go home.
Oh, hell no.
Where it's me, my son, and my stepdaughter. I say stepdaughter
Yeah, no, it's
as
only
I've
my
taken my
legs.
best friend's daughter in legally. Around 2016, my best friend Joanne was murdered by her husband.
Bro,
He ended
what?
up making national headlines and was convicted of 5 more murder cases. He's facing 3 consecutive life sentences with no parole. 20.
This is not a school, bro. This is an insane asylum, bro.
The gas station was about 2 miles, and the nearest park was about 600 meters from where we were. So we were one of the last schools to go into lockdown. Around midday of March, it was a normal heated Monday. I was teaching math at that time for the 6th graders. All of a sudden, I get a notification on my phone that someone was here to pick up my stepdaughter. The system that works is the main emergency number gets a notification if someone is picking up your child, and see what he wants to do from there. A gut feeling didn't sit right with me. I called my stepdaughter's classroom and asked for her
Why
to be
am I
sent to my
actually
room.
scared?
Just as I hung up, I was back to teaching when my stepdaughter came into the classroom. Not even 10 minutes later, the lockdown siren went off. I had kids push desks to the door and barricade the windows, and everyone sat in the corner. I had a pretty good feeling on who this lockdown was about. We were in a lockdown
Who?
for about 46
The guy that
minutes at
killed
this
his
point.
wife?
My main concern was the police informed me that how he had gotten out was a prison bus transporting inmates to another cell, but a car came swerving in and crashed into the prison bus, leaving 10 prisoners dead on the scene, 2 prison guards knocked out, and 20 escaped. There were police already at our house waiting for the dad to show up, but he never did.
Oh,
When they heard the lockdown at the school, they knew it was one of the prisoners. If they had never gotten there on time, I honestly have no idea what would have happened.
oh, my nose.
This happened during
Oh,
my
what the
freshman year of
fuck?
high school.
Okay, no, I was just watching it. Is my nose bleeding? No, it's good. I don't think I've ever actually had a nosebleed. Yeah, anyway, yeah, okay, no, there's nothing really to react on the last story, so I'm gonna just move on to the next one. I went there, and then, like, there was, like, the whole underground economy was working in the bathrooms, bro. There was 2 guys in the stalls just playing fucking Clash of Clans. And then, and, bro, there's, like, 4 of us just, like, hanging out in the bathroom, but, like, I didn't really stay for long because, like, I didn't want to get in trouble, so I actually don't know how long they were in there, so yeah. Earth science, you mean geography?
Back when the loudspeaker came on and said, "This is a lockdown. Lock all doors, lights off, stay quiet." At first, nobody panicked. Our teacher, Mrs. Chen, sighed, got up, and locked the door like usual. She turned off the lights and told us all to get into the corner of the room, away from the door. Everyone was laughing.
You just hear a gunshot in the hallway. You just hear a gunshot in the hallway. Everyone just goes quiet.
Whispering like you. I repeat, this is not a drill. That's when the room went silent. My teacher didn't say a word. She just motioned for everyone to stay down and keep quiet. I could tell even she was nervous now. She kept checking her phone, and we could hear faint, distant police sirens outside. A few minutes passed, and we heard
This is
something
some
from the
scary
hallway.
shit.
Footsteps. Slow ones, and not in a hurry.
Does your classroom have a window? You know what they should just do in school lockdown drills? Get everyone out. Always have a window in the classroom so you can just jump out. If you're on the 8th story, you're cooked anyway. I remember when I was choosing high schools to go to, it was like, which one do you want to go to? Do you want to go to the one that has 2 stories or the one that has 8 stories? Because for some reason, I went to this one open night or whatever. This one that had like 8 stories. And it was like a high school that had like the maths class was like on the very top story, bro. It was like a skyscraper or some shit. They also didn't allow they allowed you not to wear uniforms, but I got stuck with the uniform school, unfortunately. Still, I hate my choice. I got so unlucky, bro.
Just turning the handle back and forth like they were checking. And then a male's voice on the other side said, "This is just a drill. You can open the door now." We all collectively looked at Mrs. Chen, and then she looked back at all of us, put her finger up to her lips, and shook her head no. The person on the other side of the door kept knocking and trying the doorknob, and eventually the knocks got more aggressive as the voice of the man on the other side kept saying hello. Our classroom was on the first floor in the science wing. I can't tell.
You know what I would do? This is probably not what I would do. But, like, look, okay, so the door is right there. I'd stand right here with one of those stools. I'd pick it up. I'd ask the teacher to stand there, unlock the door. Oh, wait, no, it would probably open that side, so then she'd be fucked. So, no. I'd be covered by the door. I'd grab the stool, and I'd whack him on the head with it.
Total silence, apart from the police sirens outside getting louder. It felt like forever. Then, someone down the hall screamed. It was a girl. Just one scream, and then nothing. A couple of people in my class started crying quietly. Honestly, it was the girls. Someone whispered that they saw a shadow move past the little glass window on the classroom door on several occasions. Each time anyone spoke, even quietly, Mrs. Chen gave a stern but quiet shh. Another 5 or 10 minutes passed.
Oh, this is
Then,
freaky shit.
Finally, we heard the sound of police officers shouting from down the hallway, telling everyone to stay in place. They were going room to room, and when they finally knocked on our door and unlocked it with a key, Mrs. Chen didn't even move until they showed their badges. We were all escorted out in a line, past other classes doing the same thing. There were cop cars everywhere outside, even a SWAT van. I didn't see anything too crazy.
Bro, what was this guy carrying? An AR-15?
But I did see one officer leading a guy in cuffs out of the building. He looked about 30. Not a student. Pale, long hair, wearing dark clothes. Later
He's
that
Dexter
day,
Morgan.
we found out that some criminal had slipped into the school through one of the side doors during a delivery. That side door was right by the end of the science wing. Apparently, he was mentally unstable and had something in his backpack, but I don't know if it was a weapon or not. They didn't tell us much. They just said nobody was hurt and everything was under control. But I swear, I'll never forget that knock at the door. The way he turned the handle, the scream down the hall. It didn't feel like everything was under control at all.
Donald, they acted like I committed a war crime, bro. I was like, bro, I was 4 minutes late. It's not even that bad. Timed attention if you touch the piano again. No, bro, it's a piano. That's what I wanted to say. But if I said anything, literally anything, they'd go ballistic because they have anger issues.
Our classroom is...
What are these classes they're listing? Like, chorus, What subject is that, Matt?
listening to music and just waiting for the bell to ring and start the day. After a few minutes, I heard my teacher say something, so I paused my music and took out my headphones. When I looked up, I saw my classmates heading into the closet at the back of the choir room.
Oh, so it's music.
We had just practiced a lockdown drill the day before, so I wasn't sure if this was another drill or something else. Still, I listened to what the teacher was saying and followed everyone else into the closet.
Rewind that clip. Why does it look like there's a pair of white eyes, like, right over here? Do you all see that? Or am I schizophrenic?
The teacher shut the door
Maybe
behind
it's a
us
poster.
and turned off the lights. We were now sitting in complete darkness, with only a small amount of light coming in from under the door. At this point, I still didn't know what was happening, but then I heard police sirens outside. That's when I started to realize this wasn't a drill. It was real. I started to feel nervous, but I kept calm. I figured if I stayed as composed as I could, maybe I wouldn't panic as much. I sat in that closet quietly, trying to listen for any sounds coming from outside.
Now, this is a bit of a complicated situation, because this is, like, you're screwed anyway, because I think there's a door, like, no, I don't think there is. I don't know if there is. But if there's a door, like, right here, it's basically Five Nights at Freddy's. Because there's one door there, there's one door there. He could come in through literally any of them. If there is a door right here. I don't know if there is.
But I didn't hear
But, like,
anything
bro.
else. We stayed in that closet with the lights
Why am I
off until
actually
the
scared,
lockdown
bro? I don't
ended
like
around
this.
8:45 a.m. That's nearly 2 hours.
I hate this
Once
shit.
we were let out, I felt calm again because everyone around me had stayed calm too.
Okay, the lights are back on.
I
I'm
went back
happy
to my
now.
seat in the front of the room and put my music back on, just trying to get back to normal. Later on, I decided to ask my teacher what had happened. I said, "Were there any fights today?" The teacher looked at me seriously and said, "It's much worse." That's when I started to realize something serious had really gone down.
Why would you
looked
think
at-
there would be a fight if there was, like, a whole ass lockdown and there was sirens outside, bro? What? How slow are you?
At first, I thought it was just regular pickup traffic, but it felt different. In the classroom, some students were trying to get information. Eventually, my friend Jacob told me that someone had been stabbed in the middle of the school.
What the
in
fuck?
rotunda. I didn't know much more than that at the time.
Stabbed?
Shortly after, my mom texted me asking if I was okay. I told her I was safe and still in my choir class. Some girls in the class had started crying after the lockdown, and that made everything feel even more real. My mom called me next. She told me she had
Bro,
parked her
what
car at the
actually
baseball
happened?
field, along with a bunch of other worried parents trying to find their kids. Eventually, my name was called and I was allowed to leave the school. When I got to the field, I found my mom. She was clearly shaken up, and honestly, so was I. She drove me to the daycare where she worked, and once we got there, both of us went into a quiet room where
Fuck
we
me.
cried together. Her coworkers came in to try and comfort us.
Yeah. I hope you guys have a safe night. I'm actually not going to be. I'm probably not going to be able to sleep tonight because of the horror stories that we have watched. So yeah, I'm just gonna end the video there. I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video when it gets uploaded. I don't know when because I have videos scheduled now for like a while until like 2026 or something like that. But like yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.